This game is very important for our season.
It's one of the biggest rivalries in college football.
We bringing this out. We coming along. Can't tell you what it is, but I can feel the danger. I can feel the danger. Synchronize.
We're in a good place, but man, everybody's got to be a little bit better.
Synchronize. I can feel the danger. Synchronize.
We are live in Memphis on Beale Street. This place is absolutely insane. Welcome to Countdown to College Game Day presented by Samsung QLED TV. We're coming to you live for the first time ever on Beale Street in Memphis. This place is hyped. This is the M-Day's 4th new location of the year. This is a big AAC matchup between SMU and Memphis. Obviously, this crowd's been here all night. This crowd's been here all morning. They opened up the bars early just to hang out with us. This is the first. I mean, for all my game day experiences, this is the first. For the first time ever, they've opened up just to make sure everybody stays warm. I'm sure it's just to make sure everybody stays warm. This place is absolutely ridiculous. We're live on Twitter, the YouTube app, ESPN app. You know how to hang out with us every single week. They've been here. They've been getting ready. Look at this going. Look at it. Herb Street is the king of Beale. Herb Street's the king of Beale. I mean, that's pretty strong. Like, Herbie is the king. We got a championship belt. All right, so did you already have the championship belt, or did you get the belt for this?
Nah, I got the belt for this. It's all love for Memphis.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, let's be honest. When you look around what we see here, this is the first time ever. This is huge. Huge for Memphis. So, like, you got the 901. Like, what's it mean for the 901 to be represented on game day, man?
Day like this for the whole entire city of Memphis. Black, white, green, and orange. It's about 901, period, point blank, baby. 901 Tigers, baby.
And then this. We've seen a lot of this sign. We're going to see a lot of this sign. The #1 team in Tennessee. I mean, he's not wrong. Vandy stinks. Tennessee's not any good. Memphis #1, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Run. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. We're going right through this. Obviously, we're hanging out live on Beale Street. I'm not hanging out by myself. We're navigating uncharted territory.
Hurry up, Fitz.
We're
Hurry
just
up.
walking through the cheerleaders. I don't know where we're going.
Oh,
all right, I'm just walking right through everybody.
Pick up Fitz. Put him on the top of the pyramid.
You know what? I was having my moment. I was having my moment. We are joined now. Oh, this is the I'm standing in between you two.
Yeah,
Okay.
come on.
Too much height right here. Pat McAfee, David Pollack. Mac, this is your first time. Patty Mac. Do we like that nickname?
Yeah,
Patty Mac?
Patty Mac isn't bad. Easy Mac, P Mac, you got it. But today, Memphis Mac, let's have a morning here, Fitz.
Memphis Mac. This is
The 901.
If you had to rate the moments in your career, getting to hang out with me and Pollack.
I have never spoke live on the internet with a fiddle player, and now I'm talking with one of the greats of all time, and handsome Pollack looks like he's whittling away. He's 130 pounds, and this crowd in Memphis has been electric for the last 7 hours already.
It has. I
The
mean,
bars are open. They're ready to roll.
They opened Beale Street early. I didn't even know that was a possibility, right? So the question is, how when you think about the bars here, are they trickling in and out? It's just staying warm, or you think they're all just going to stick here for the rest of the day?
I was talking to a couple of the kids here, and they said it was a marathon, but they're doing it at a sprinting pace. So I think the fact that Game Day has come to Memphis in the American Conference, I think Memphis is going to take advantage of it. They've been walking on Beale Street. They've been stumbling on Beale Street, and I think this is going to be an electric morning.
Well, and talk about a couple years ago when this program was cutting the seats in half and wondering what the heck's going on, and now College Game Day's here. The stadium's sold out for the first time. I mean, so now you got something to get super excited about. It's an awesome moment for them.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
by the way, the game's going to be awesome. I mean, there's going to be plenty of points.
Yes.
And every Memphis game you watch, you have no clue what's going to happen, but it's something fun's going to happen.
What do you think the level in there? Because the rumor mill was circulating we might come to Memphis. All I'm thinking about is last week, Tulsa, end of the game, going for the game-winning kick. The level of puckered up from Memphis fans had to be at a square 10.
Well, and also SMU now, right? SMU was playing Houston. That came down to the fourth quarter. Both of these teams knew.
The guys in the booth sucked for that game. It was a horrible game.
Absolutely terrible.
Absolutely
but they knew that a chance of Game Day's appearance right here in Memphis, Tennessee was on the line, and both teams made it happen. Coach Norvell has done an incredible job with these Tigers. I like what Coach Dykes has done with the SMU Mustangs. We're all Mustangs here. And we're in for a good one here.
Well, I want to go back to something that happened Thursday night. Countdown to game day. It's the first time we get to hang out with Pat McAfee and David Pollack together, and I'm Jason Fitz. We're hanging out, right? First, I want to go back to a key play from Thursday night's game. And this is key, Baylor, West Virginia. It's key because it's a punt.
Yeah.
All right, we're seeing a punt.
Oh.
Yeah.
A fumble. This was a key moment in the game and an exciting moment. Let's say it this way. It was an exciting moment in the game to see the turnover for number 12 Baylor as Baylor was in a dogfight with West Virginia. But the key is really this tweet that came after the highlight because it came from Pat McAfee. He said that is why the punt is the most exciting play in football. I bring that up because I was listening to the college football podcast this week when a certain person named David Pollack said he hates that games come down to the leg of a kicker at the end. So finally,
do you have my quote up here? I mean,
well, no. We only make graphics.
So you don't have my quote. I can't. Yeah, I mean, Billy Bennett, obviously, love you, Billy, but LSU, it was one of those things where he missed 3 field goals, and it was kind of a big deal. And listen, this is a sport that is about testosterone and beating people up for 60 minutes. I'm not a big fan when it comes down to a guy that plays soccer on the other field the whole game, okay?
I can understand that, but it's called football for a reason. And I can understand how meatheads like yourself don't love the dainty kickers who are the super alphas of the team.
Super alpha.
Come out and put the team on their back. And a lot of things, by the way. Whenever kickers miss very easy kicks and they look scared, I hate it as well. I missed a couple kicks in college, cost a lot of incredibly alpha males a lot of victory and celebration. So that's on me. But that's why it's the greatest team sport in all of the world. I mean, you've got a big guy that can play, fat guys can play, little guys can play, skinny guys can play. That is why
fast guys can play,
slow guys can play. Yeah. And that's why football is the greatest sport on earth, especially college football, whenever things like this are starting to happen.
The greatest thing that you guys don't know is I didn't tell either of them we were doing that off the top. I just wanted to
you kind of set that up.
It's
all good.
This is what I do. You know, I just sort of stir things up. Speaking of stir things up, I saw a sign, and I've seen a couple versions of it walking up here. It said Memphis, #1 team in the state of Tennessee. Now let's acknowledge, sorry Nashville, I lived in Nashville for 20 years. Vandy stinks.
Yeah.
Tennessee's, maybe they're trying to rise.
I'm about to say, Tennessee's got it righted. They look like they have Tennessee looks like they have a direction now. You have to give them credit for that.
Yeah, but the first 7 weeks, I mean, they stunk.
It was awful.
And good old Rocky Top is always going to be the talk of the town. You got the greats like Peyton Manning coming out of there, that electric orange down there in Knox Vegas and all that stuff.
Power T.
Vanderbilt is awesome. Nashville, beautiful city. But Memphis, I think for the first time in a long time, should embrace the hell out of the fact that not only is their football team great, basketball team is good.
Penny Hardaway, baby, let's go.
This is becoming the sports town of Tennessee, and you got to feel good about it.
Yeah, I think that's one thing we have to capture today is that this isn't just a football moment. Their basketball team is one of the best in the country. Speaking of football moments, Coach Corso is up there. Matt, you were around the WWE last night. You know what it means to work a crowd. Watch this.
What a legend Coach Corso is.
Watch. With a huge smile every week.
I mean,
every week.
I feel
it's
like
amazing.
You were around the WWE last night. Like, give a rating to Coach. It's a square 10, right?
Listen, Coach Corso for decades now has been the most electrifying figure on television. When he does the helmet, I normally watch it through Kirk Herbstreit's Twitter, getting a chance to see it live and to feel the emotion of the fans. When he kissed the Tiger helmet, I mean, it's just a beautiful moment of what makes College Game Day College Game Day.
I'm going to drag you guys with me. We're going to go talk to somebody.
We have to?
Excuse us. They're coming through. I got to talk to this guy.
Yeah.
Like, when you think about this guy, there are so many questions about
I like
this.
it.
This feels good, but the question is, did you already own the #1 or did you make a #1 specific for this broadcast?
I already had it.
You already had
created the blue stripes and all that stuff. Yeah.
Why did you have it?
It was for a church event.
Okay.
Oh, that's
okay.
awesome.
Super good guy.
Nice.
One of the nicest guys ever. God bless you, pal.
Nice.
I mean, honestly.
So you already had the one, and you were like, "Hey, game day's coming, so I'm going to put the stripes on it."
Oh,
right?
for sure. Yeah.
Okay. And what time did you get here tonight? Last night.
2:30 this morning.
2:30 this morning. All right.
Nice.
All right. It is. Oh, look at that. And we got win or lose. At least we aren't
Tennessee.
I'm telling you, the left side, strong side. The the Memphis-Knoxville hate is real. So
It's real. It's real.
Is it community-wide? Like, talk to me about that.
Definitely.
Okay.
We hate Tennessee. We hate Tennessee.
This guy just came out of church. This guy's bashing Tennessee. I love this place.
The only thing Mustangs are good for. I mean, this is strong artwork, by the way. Did you draw this yourself?
I did, yes, sir.
Nice.
Did you use a stencil for the letters?
I did not.
That kid lied right to your face right there.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
And he said yes, sir. So manners are amazing around here.
The biggest thing for somebody that can't even color in the lines is that line work is so perfect. Like, it's not surprising that
You didn't want to incorporate this one?
Win or lose. What?
Win or lose.
At least we don't have to live in. Oh, man. You got a troller.
I mean, if we're going to go this side, I like seeing a little bit of this, too. I'm not going to lie.
From the crowd, wait, let's get the reaction from the people here. There's a sign in front that says, win or lose, at least we don't have to live in Memphis. What do you think of that? That's a bold. We'll keep walking signs in a minute. We'll keep the magic going with some people. There's some good signs over there we'll get to. But in the meantime, I want to keep talking to you guys about Memphis football, because as much as we talk about Memphis football today, let's also acknowledge there are some NFL players that we watch every Sunday right now that have had success that have come from this program. Let's start with Dontari Poe, somebody that obviously had a huge career here.
It's a massive human being.
Yeah, he spent some Sundays absolutely destroying my beloved Raiders as he was picked by the Chiefs, had a huge career. Obviously, he's one of the big stars that we can look at that's making it in the NFL.
Massive
Memphis.
human being that's an athlete.
You've also got Paxton Lynch, somebody that's drafted 26th overall by the Broncos. Paxton threw for 3,776 yards for 28 touchdowns as a junior. I mean, absolutely incredible success here. Did go on to the NFL. I know that the Broncos necessarily didn't find what they were looking for, but he's managed to take it to the next level. Anthony Miller, somebody that left school as Memphis' all-time leader in receiving yards with 3,590 in three seasons. My man also had 37 touchdowns, including 18 in his senior season.
He had 18 jukes on that play, too.
Mitchell Trubisky can't get him the ball.
Well,
let's see what it's like. And then speaking of somebody that gets the ball, Darrell Henderson is somebody I spent every single Saturday last year talking about on the College Football Show on Twitter. He is somebody that absolutely deserved to be in the Heisman conversation with the career he had last year, playing for the Rams now. So
I didn't get that show. When was that show you did?
That was the College Football Show last year.
A little plug there. Out there. Good for you.
Thank you very much.
Smart.
Thank you very much. This is only the beginning.
Who's this guy?
You know what? I'm going through things in order here, David. Let things happen.
He made me cry last week in
Gene Wojciechowski joining us.
On Casey?
Those jorts are making me cry.
I'll tell you what, I walked into the production meeting at Game Day. I had 45 different looks. They're trying to find me pants. Nothing's open yet, so let the Cavs breathe here in Memphis, Tennessee.
Can the question is the sport coat with the Cavs, like, is that a usual, like business on the front and party?
Business on top, party on the bottom.
Party
It's
on
the
the bottom.
mullet of outfits for sure. And I don't think there's any other place in the world that this outfit, this costume would play than right here on Beale Street. They respect good fashion here.
I don't even know what to say to that. Gene Wojciechowski joins us. Gene, we wanted you to come on because you had a feature on
Because
Game
I'm a
Day.
Tennessee grad, and that will go over big. Thank you so much.
I wasn't going to say that. I wasn't going to say that.
I saw the hate, by the way.
This
I'm
kid
going to
hates
remember
you.
it.
This kid hates you.
Yes,
Right here.
I'm going to remember this.
Oh, man. Well, you, a couple of weeks ago, had a feature on Game Day about SMU because this is a program that's sort of come from the bottom. And now, obviously, they're a big part of why we're here also. They've managed to turn things around tremendously.
Yeah, it wasn't the bottom. It was like negative integers. I mean, they were below ground. They were the school that got the death penalty. Their program was shut down for 2 years. Nobody knew if it would ever come back, and somehow it has. It's taken years, decades, but they've put it together. Taken a lot of coaches, a lot of players, a lot of bad times, but here they are, and you have to respect how they've come back.
Well, and the cool thing is, they got the death penalty, and so they went away for a while, and that was the old school Memphis. But the new school football has kind of helped. The transfers really, they got 16 transfers on this team. They built this team. Now it's a great place to be able to come back to Dallas in this area, the area where they live. So much high school talent.
Yeah.
Kids leave, they go try their hands. Shane Buechele, the quarterback at Texas, come back to SMU, and now it's just going to build on itself. So I don't think SMU's going anywhere either.
I got a chance to call SMU's last game there, and talking to Coach Dykes, the way he described Shane Buechele was a transformer of the franchise, basically, a transformer of the organization. When he came from Texas in the spring, he wasn't even a full-time SMU student yet. He was living in the apartments of the other players so he can get adapted to the Mustangs way. Reggie Robertson, who came from West Virginia, transferred back into his hometown of Dallas. He had been the man who had been connecting everybody. They're like, what's it like at SMU? Reggie would tell everybody, it's awesome. Coach Dykes is building something. This SMU Mustangs team knows about the past. Everybody's seen the 30 for 30, but I think they're embracing the hell out of the fact that they're all the way back right now. Rhett Lashley on that offensive side of the ball is running an incredible offense, and Coach Dykes is really leading a good team down there at SMU.
And I think you've made a great point about the transfers. The number of transfers that come into SMU this year is really substantial. It's one of the moments where the transfer portal can be a great advantage for a school that is trying to rebuild or a school that's trying to get to the next level. We talk a lot about the transfer portal in a negative. This is the transfer portal working in a tremendous positive.
Coach Dykes said that he was kind of indifferent about it. He didn't love it.
He's embraced it now, though.
Yeah, but now
he's all about it,
you
bro.
get Shane Buechele, you get some weapons on your team, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, this transfer portal can turn around a team very quickly. And the Mustangs are a perfect depiction of that.
And it's interesting because they have an entire campaign there about keeping the local guys home. Billboards everywhere, hometown team, but they also use the transfers to supplement that roster. A lot of those guys didn't know about the death penalty and never considered
They weren't
SMU.
even alive yet. They weren't even alive yet.
30 for 30 taught everybody.
Yes.
But they didn't even consider SMU at the time. But guys like Buechele, who was recruited by SMU and just said, no, I'm going to Texas. Now those guys are coming back and thinking about SMU as a first choice, not as a possible choice.
So, Gene Wojciechowski, you have a feature today on strength coaches in college football. I don't think either of us know anything about strength coaches, but I will ask you, was there one...
Who are you talking to?
You. I will ask you, is there one... Is there one specific moment that stood out to you in the feature today that we should all keep an eye on?
This guy knew everything about strength coaches. He had a key to the Georgia strength locker room, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Might have been the only player that did. No, the piece is about sort of the power of the strength coach and how he can define, build, and be the difference in a football program.
And I will say, the Cavs
The
look
fact
great.
that you just lumped yourself in with him is just funny.
I think that's about
You're on your own island, bro.
pounds or so.
Yeah, you're on your own
Their
island.
strength coach is the most important coach of an entire team. I mean, they're with the players the most. I had a chance to be with Mike Barwis. The first time I lifted a weight was at West Virginia.
You didn't in high school at all?
Not at all. Soccer player, man. Everything you said earlier was 100% accurate. So that Mike Barwis is like one of the main reasons why I made it, had a chance to make a living. Mike Joseph as well. The strength coach is a vital part of every team. I can't wait to see what Gene does. He made me cry last week. I assume he's going to have me ready to run through a damn wall.
There's a whole section on jorts.
I guess that's the best section. Gene, thanks for hanging out.
There will be a section on tight shirts and tight shirts. No doubt about that.
By the way, little known fact, Pollack, my new strength coach. He gave me some workouts.
Thank you. I'm trying to help him out, bro.
I'm a weekend.
Well, it ain't worth it. Damn.
I'm a weekend.
It ain't working yet.
Speaking of me, every week I have the opportunity to break down 4 things, a ranking of sorts, let's say, something to look out this weekend. It is time for Fitz's Big 4, brought to you by Samsung QLED TV. Check this out. It's time for Fitz's Big 4. This week, we take a look at the top 4 games this weekend that will impact the New Year's 6 bowl games. We will start at number 4 on the list. That's number 9, Utah at Washington. Utah needs to win out, and they need USC to lose just to get into the Pac-12 championship game. The problem is, while they might be playing the best football in the Pac-12, they don't have a signature win this year or a win that can get the taste of the USC loss out of their mouths. At this point, they need to win, and they need to win big with style as they go through the Pac-12 schedule. Speaking of the Pac-12, Utah not the only one on this list. Next up on the list, number 7, Oregon at USC. Oregon fans, let's be real, they're still puckered up after last week's close call against Washington State. And Oregon State losing didn't help the remainder of their schedule very much. Oregon fans and Utah fans, ironically, are sort of praying for the same thing. They want both teams to crush everybody left on their schedules so they can get to the Pac-12 championship game and try and make a statement there. By the way, Oregon's 63.7% chance to win, according to our advanced metrics. That brings us to number 2 on the list, SMU at Memphis. SMU number 15. Remember, the best of the group of 5 gets a New Year's Six bowl bid. The highest ranked Group of 5 team right now is SMU, but they're visiting a tough Memphis squad. You're talking about a team that's made a bowl game 5 straight years. You're talking about a team that's only lost once at home since 2017, and that was to UCF. Don't sleep on Memphis, a team that lost a couple of big running backs to the NFL, and they just continue to reload. That brings us to the top of the list. Georgia and Florida. Are we allowed to talk about this game without making Florida-Georgia line references? Not when you know this is how we roll. You're welcome. We're just starting. Holy cow, there's a lot on the line in this game. Most notably, the winner hopes to cruise into the SEC championship game where they hope it's meant to be, that they can stay hot, they can lay their opponent in the dirt and bring an SEC title home. To God, your mama, and me. That was smooth. That's all the references I can get in. Tell us what you think. At Jason Fitz. That's our 4. First of all, you knew I had to get in the FGL references. Come on now.
Hey, you ever see the countdown doing too much?
Okay. First of all, you guys need to step off this little mat. Like, there's a cheerleader mat here on the floor, which is really helping me in the height game.
Yeah.
It's my only shot. Like, it's my only shot to finally get up.
Hey, the people are losing their mind to Fitz's Big 4 right
now.
there.
That's fair.
Brought to you by Samsung. They were losing their minds to it.
They lose their minds over the QLED TV also. No, I will. No, I will ask you, but at the top of my list was Georgia as a team, obviously, we're going to have all eyes on. Coming off of the upset, Georgia at this point still controls their own destiny. That's something we have to at least acknowledge. They have a huge game today that's going to mean everything. One team's going to be eliminated today.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's no doubt about it. They control their own destiny, but it doesn't feel like it. You know what I'm saying? Because offensively, they've just not been the same team that we saw a year ago. And they can run the football. Their offensive line is still physical, but making big plays in the passing game. Jake Fromm, year 3, you're like, oh, next step. Well, he's got to take that next step, and he's got a bunch of freshmen at wide receiver out wide, young kids. He's going to have to make plays.
Well, I think the thing about Jake Fromm, State Farm, his weapons have to get a little separation. If the Florida DBs can lock them down, I think it's going to be a long day for Georgia. I know they're favored, but this feels like this could be a big-time game for Florida, especially at the world's largest cocktail party.
Can't say that. It's not that anymore.
World's largest tailgate party.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Go back to cocktail.
They're going to be having a good time. And
Just like everybody's drinking fruit juice on Beale.
But you know what, though? As much as we talk about Georgia's offense, you haven't talked about Georgia's defense, and they don't have a superstar on it, but this is the best defense Kirby's had by far. They're the deepest. They can rotate guys in and out. They got 10, 12 guys on the front. They got 4 or 5 corners they can play man against anybody they want. This is a deep, good unit. They haven't given up a rushing touchdown, only team in the country not to do that this year. So they got a really good defense. I think they can keep them in it even when their offense struggles.
Stick to the defensive side of the ball with rushing defense specifically, but flip it. All right, LSU Florida the last 2 weeks has been run all over. We're so busy talking about Jake Fromm, but the fact is 217 yards, 218 yards the last couple of weeks. Everybody's just running up the guy, and I know injuries are a part of that. But if you're Georgia, don't you feel like you can go in and just run the ball down the throat of them?
Football is a copycat game. I mean, if you see a little bit of success, you're going to get down there, but you would also have to assume that Florida would know that that's the way they've been getting their asses kicked lately. I mean, that would be something that they would know they would have to stop. They're going to try to put it in Jake Fromm's hands, and you can't blame them for it. It's going to be a massive game in Jacksonville.
Yeah, and listen, I think, first of all, you throw out, if it was just the LSU game, I would throw it out because LSU can do that to anybody. You saw against Auburn as the best run defense in the country.
Talented team.
Yeah, but when you do it against South Carolina and they get to pound the football, now you start to worry about it a little bit. Listen, Grenard, Zuniga, both those guys being out, ankle sprains. Now listen, when you're out too, by the way, and you're a kicker, like a kicker now and relegated to the side and you just kind of stand there and don't do as much,
I don't know
your
why
conditioning level, by the way, goes down. So I'll be interested to watch Grenard and Zuniga, and if those guys can come back and be impact players because they haven't played in a while. But Georgia's built on running the football. That's who they are anyway, so it's going to be a great matchup, and they're going to have to stop the run game first.
I'll also be interested to see how those high ankle sprains hold up during the course of the game. Are they really back in there for the whole game? That's not the only big game over the course of the weekend to keep an eye on. Number 9, Utah at Washington. We're trying to figure out what to say about the Pac-12, right? Because the Pac-12 is trying to differentiate themselves back into the playoff conversation. I don't know that there's enough in front of any of them to do this, but at this point, we'll say the same thing about both of them. Utah's got to go in. They've got to win with style, right? At this point, they've got to blow people out and become part of the conversation.
They don't have to win with style. They have to get help, but they have to. If they take care of Washington today, that's another good win. If Oregon continue, they need Oregon to continue to win. Oregon and Utah both have to win and play each other in the Pac-12 championship game, both being a one-loss team, both being in the top 6, 7, 8, which right now they're both in the top 10, and we know carnage is going to come still. So the Pac-12 just needs a lot of help, and they need both of their teams to stay undefeated. And by the way, I think both of the teams could lose today. Both of them could go down, and then you could officially have the death, burial, grave. No resurrection.
Well, I got a chance to go to the Stanford game a couple weeks ago, and I talked to Coach Shaw, and he talked about how the Pac-12 just gets forgotten in this whole thing. So I disagree with you a little bit. I do think it has to be some style points for Utah. They kind of have to put a boot down and kind of put on a show for the world, not only for Utah, but for the Pac-12 as a whole. Kind of get forgotten about over there, and they beat the hell out of each other so much. You have no idea what's going to happen over there.
And I will say this. This feels like one of those years where all the teams that we're talking about are good. It's just that one hasn't separated themselves. And because one hasn't separated themselves, we end up with this. Which brings us to our next big game, because that's Oregon at USC. And we were just talking about the Pac-12 and what needs to happen for Oregon moving forward. I think it's interesting that when we start to look at, the stats and info guys that are much smarter than any of us with analytics, the stats and info guys, we're doing this? Oh, yeah. Where are we going?
I don't know, but they're doing it, so we're doing it.
What are we doing? Oh, come on.
We don't know what we're doing.
Come on. We don't know what it is.
Hey.
You talk about Oregon while you do this? I think I got this one.
You got it? You got this one, Fitz?
I'm looking like this detergent now. This is a banger.
Okay, what were you saying?
This is a teaser.
I'm going to tell you this. This is like the third time I've seen this morning.
Get the
I love it.
Fitz. Get the pom-poms. Look at this guy over here holding a megaphone.
We separated you.
We took it from the girls, sorry.
Yeah, that's our fault.
You said something about the Pac-12. You were talking about
the Pac-12's playing football.
I think we were talking about Oregon.
You just lost all hope right there.
Breaking news, the Pac-12.
Sorry about that.
They're playing football.
And by the way, that's what the Pac-12 says, by the way. A song comes on and they get forgotten about. That is basically what the Pac-12 has been saying.
Or everybody goes to sleep when the big games are on. It's so late.
But what our stats and info people showed was that the upsets that have created more room in the top 4 haven't created an increased playoff chance for the Pac-12. It's increased the playoff chance for 2 teams from the Big Ten or from the SEC. Now, they have smarter metrics than I do, but that's a statement to what it is right now for the Pac-12, what they're up against.
First of all, those numbers are terrible most of the time anyways. I don't listen to those
so you hate
numbers
stats
regardless.
guys and kickers.
Not a stats guy, not a kicker. But besides that, either way, a loss by somebody like Oklahoma helps them. I mean, think about if Baylor gets a few losses, it would help them, because Oklahoma could be in a position where who do they beat this year? Who you point to? And they lost to Kansas State. So I think they need everybody. They need all kinds of help, but that doesn't hurt when somebody loses, that's for sure.
Let's stick there for a second, by the way, because we're going to get our first ranking this week on Tuesday. Rankings Reaction you can check out right here, everywhere you digitally stream. Rankings Reaction will come and do. That's me and Mike Golick Jr. and special guest. I don't know, I'm just plugging my other show. So anyway, as we look at the top 4, we all agree it's going to be LSU, Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson in some particular order?
Well, 3 have a bye, and then Clemson plays Wofford. So yes, it will be in that some order, some way, shape, or form.
And that idle team has to battle every week. And
BYE might take care of business.
Yeah, we don't know.
BYE could beat all 3 of them.
But I think those 4 in any particular order, nobody will be surprised. My number 5 team, by the way, Minnesota. Row the boat. Let's get the Gophers in a little bit more of a conversation piece, Mr. Pollack.
So you just want to stir up stuff. That's really
row the boat.
It has nothing to do with football, but
it does. I watched every single play that they've had. Minnesota Gophers are going to impress next week against Penn State.
Look at that. He's going for it. I'm going to walk you guys over to the other side. I don't know if we're allowed to.
Are we going to the SMU side?
Yeah, we're going over to the SMU side. We're going over hanging out. Reese is getting everybody pumped up as he does every single week.
The commissioner will speak.
Look how handsome he is.
He will address the crowd. Listen.
I'm coming.
He will address
this.
Reese getting the crowd pumped up.
Tiger just showed up.
You guys are killing it. Let's kick some butt all morning. What do you say?
I like it. Kick some butt.
That's
the commish. That's a leader there.
Walking on Beale Street.
Doesn't swear.
No.
Just commish.
Proper gentleman.
So we're going to cut through the cheerleaders here. Sorry, we're cutting through you guys. We're cutting through you guys. This was my favorite sign that you guys had to see. Don't worry, son. Y'all are never scheduling them again. As we've got Memphis. I mean, who came up with the sign? Is this yours?
Yeah.
Okay, this is awesome. Where'd the idea come from?
We were at this game, game. This was one of the biggest plays. We stopped them on 4th down, and I think it was Jackson Dillon that came in and did this to Mr. Kimdichie, and Ole Miss won't schedule us anymore, especially not in the Liberty Bowl.
I've seen a few different signs that say, we want Bama. Alabama's saying, we want Memphis. Oh, it is going to be fired up. Are you all fired up for what it means to have game day here? All right, any big predictions for this game? We're almost out of time. Any
a
big
lot of points, a lot of fun.
A lot of, that's...
SMU might run 700 plays tonight, but I like Memphis at home in front of this drunk crowd in the Liberty Bowl. I think it's going to be a big one.
You make a great point about pace of play. I'll tell you right now, keep hanging out. Game day is going to be coming at you. We will be here every week, but in the meantime, stick around. Game day coming up next, right here. Thanks for hanging out with us.